Rubicon me Adriatic Kelmendin përkrahet nga Interex, Cima Construction, Instabuild, Arjani Kompani dhe Albi Group.
Bashkimi Evropian dhe Shtetet e Bashkuara të Amerikës kanë rritur presionin ndaj Prishtinës dhe Beogradit që të pranojnë një propozim që tashmë po quhet i përbashkët evropiano-amerikan për të zgjidhur mosmarrëveshjet ndërmjet vete. Për këtë arsye dhe kishte një vizitë në të dyja kryeqytetet në fund të javës së kaluar me përfaqësuesit e BE-s, zoti Miroslav Lajçak, po ashtu edhe atë amerikan Escobar, si dhe emisarët special të 3 shteteve Gjermanisë, Francës dhe Italisë për të prezantuar planin që ata të e shohin që do të çojë përpara këtë çështje. Cili është plani që është prezantuar, sa janë gjasat për të arritur dhe a mund të kësaj radhe që të quhet se po arrihet një marrëveshje e cila përfundimisht do të hapë rrugën që të ketë normalizim marrëdhënies ndërmjet dy shteteve. Për këto ekskluzivisht sonte do të flasim me përfaqësuesin e BE-s për Kosovë dhe Serbi, zotin Miroslav Lajçak. Welcome to Rubicon.
Good evening and thank you for having me.
Thank you. So last week, together with Chief Foreign Policy Advisor of France, Germany and Italy, also with Mr. Escobar, you visited Kosovo and Serbia, and you presented actually a plan. We called it, in the beginning it was called Franco-German, then it was EU plan, now you are calling it American-European plan. So is this actually the proposal of the agreement?
I think the best way how to call the plan is to call it proposal for normalization of relations between Kosovo and Serbia. And it's not that we proposed or presented the plan. I presented the plan first time in September already, and then we had discussions with Prime Minister Kurti, and then in December I presented updated version, which also reflected on some comments we received from the government of Kosovo. And what we did last week was we had a first substantive discussion about the plan. So as you know, the meeting took 2.5 hours, so it was a very comprehensive discussion about this plan. And the plan's ambition is to stop the cycles of crisis and to focus on normalization, focus on forward-looking agenda.
So can you confirm there are 10 points of this plan so far?
11
points.
Yes.
And how you negotiated from the first one till this last one that you presented on Friday?
Well, we discussed the proposal in its entirety, of course. So that's, as I said, 2.5 hours gives you enough time to speak about the proposal, but also about the context, international context, about the expectations of the international community, about the impact of accepting this proposal for the future.
And how much did it change, actually, my question is, since the beginning, from the first draft to what you presented last time?
Well, I've seen several texts presented in the media. They were not accurate, made up by some people. There were changes because, as I said, after presenting the first version, I went back to Pristina and also to Belgrade, and we discussed and asked for comment, and then we tried to accommodate the comments. But at the same time, we made it very clear that the philosophy of the proposal will not be changed, because the philosophy was drafted with the best understanding how to get to normalization. So this is the philosophy is still the same.
When you say the philosophy will not change, so the text is the one that you're representing. You are not changing anything to the text.
No. As I said, after we presented the first version, we asked both parties to offer their comments, and then we accommodated some of them, those that were not changing the philosophy of the text. So this is really important. It's a discussion, of course. It has been our separate discussion with the government of Kosovo and with the president of Serbia. So, but the aim is to bring them both in the same room and, of course, have them agree on the plan. but this must be well prepared. And therefore, last Friday was very important because we had a very, very substantive discussion with Prime Minister Kurti and later on the same day with President Vučić in Belgrade.
Can we compare these 11 points to the principles of contact group before the Ahtisaari took over the initiative to negotiate the status?
I don't think it would help because we are here and now. This is the situation we are in, and the proposal was drafted with the aim to bring normalization in the relations between Kosovo and Serbia, because you would agree with me that last 6 months were mostly about diffusing crises. We had 6 crises since last summer, and it really costs too much time, too much energy, and it's moving us backwards rather than forward. So therefore the philosophy of the plan is, let's focus on the future and let's focus on what will improve the status of Kosovo, relations between Kosovo and Serbia, lives of people.
So the idea is you presented this plan and actually you are asking the two sides to sign it or to discuss further on it, on the philosophy that it represents, as you call it.
Well, we are having this discussion separately with the parties, but when we bring them together, we will expect them, of course, to accept the plan, to sign it, and then to implement it, of course. So and to make sure that what will be signed will be implemented.
So what you're preparing now, and these visits are in the spirit of that, to convince the two parties to accept the plan and to bring them together in the same room to actually put signatures.
I'm not sure I like the word convince. In the end, you want to normalize the relations.
You can use like different notions.
We are partners. We don't come with threats or ultimatums, but we are. I believe that this is a very serious group, and we have the best intentions of really shifting the quality of relations between Kosovo and Serbia to a different level, to a much higher level, much better level.
No matter how we call it, you expect the two parties to read what you wrote and to stay in the same room and sign it.
Well, this is the desired outcome of the process, of course.
Mm-hmm. Is this the text that you're waiting for the parties to agree upon? So this is what came out in also in Serbian media during the weekend. So this is the English version of it.
It's close to it, but it's not it.
How much can it change?
Let's not play with this.
But this is the base.
The philosophy is
this is the philosophy. And but you said we are not threatening. We saw that our prime minister didn't say much, but we saw what happened in Serbia, and President Vučić was speaking after meeting with you. Then he did an interview and spoke to the press. He spoke before his party membership, and he said that actually he was threatened, and he said that we got threats that visa liberalization will be called off for Serbia, that foreign investments will be blocked for Serbia, and different threats. Actually, he went so far to say even Milosevic didn't think that Serbia will be bombarded by NATO, but it did.
Look, I will not comment on the other people's comments, but we were having a very serious discussion about why this proposal is good, and we really believe it's the best possible proposal. What would it bring? What would be the consequences of reaching this agreement? And also what we can expect if the agreement will not be reached.
Okay. So after the meeting with Prime Minister Kurti, you said we had expected a better understanding of the opportunities this proposal offers. And after the meeting with Vučić, you also seemed more optimistic, if I can say. You said President Vučić demonstrated a responsible approach and the willingness to take difficult decisions in the interest of peace and the European perspective for Serbia. What's your comment?
Well, that's what we said. That's what I said on behalf of the group after the 2 meetings, and that's why I'm back. That's why I'm back so soon after Friday, and we are going to continue the discussion.
So, when you say you expect a better understanding of the opportunities, so you think that Kurti is still not convinced and Vučić is convinced?
You cannot expect me to answer this question because the process still continues. And my task is to
But I'm referring what you have stated.
I know. And I said what I said, as I said, on behalf of the group, and we wanted to send certain signal. And I'm here to continue our effort because we really want this process to end up with the signing this agreement and with its implementation.
Mm-hmm. Can we say, as we speak, that Vučić accepted the plan?
He had two statements since we met, and I think he made his position very clear, so I don't need to repeat or comment what he said. I'm sure that you followed very closely what he said.
So this is a positive approach that you're seeing from Vučić. So you expect him to come and sign after saying this?
I wish it was that easy. But I mean, it's really important that we are on the right track with both with the government of Kosovo and with the government of Serbia. That's very important.
Are we on both sides good, you're saying? So even Kosovo's side is ready to take responsibility and accept the proposal?
I am not here to speak for the Prime Minister Kurti. I mean, he will say what's the position of Kosovo. I'm here to make sure that that we will have this agreement because, as I said, what's the alternative? Alternative will be the continuation of crisis, of escalations, and maybe even violence. Nobody wants that.
And is this proposal the solution to all the disputes between Kosovo and Serbia?
The proposal is a very good proposal, which really gives a lot to Kosovo, Kosovo's status, Kosovo-Serbia relations, Kosovo's international standing. It's, I would say, the maximum achievable at this point.
Maximum achievable at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
Which is not the end of the story. That's also very important. This is not the end of the story, but it's a very, very important. The story continues with what is written in my mandate, legally binding, comprehensive agreement normalizing the relations that addresses all open issues. And I would say this proposal addresses most of the open issues. There will be some few left, and that will be the end of the story. And we will not stop with this step. We will continue until the end.
Okay, and I will not ask you for the proposal and its articles, but I will ask you directly, what will Kosovo gain from this agreement?
As I said, Kosovo will gain a lot with regard to its own status, to the quality of relations with Serbia. The proposal will unblock the regional cooperation, will bring 4 freedoms into the cooperation between the countries of the region, will significantly improve Kosovo's standing vis-à-vis the European Union and international community. So there are very many very concrete elements which the agreement proposes.
But you didn't mention anything concretely. So Kosovo will not get recognition from Serbia first.
Look, I don't think it would help my process if I would be more concrete than I am. I think the philosophy of the proposal is quite well known, and when I said that this is offering the maximum achievable at this point, this is exactly what I meant.
But you are an international representative, and coming to Kosovo and also going to Serbia 15 years after Kosovo declared its independence, and 15 years after we had President Ahtisaari, who had a mandate from the UN to negotiate a solution for Kosovo and Serbia, and he suggested independence, supervised independence. Then he suggested how to accommodate the Serb community within Kosovo, and now the agreement that is put forward is something less than independence or recognition of independence and more than Ahtisaari. So it's Ahtisaari plus with recognition minus.
No. It's we have not touched Ahtisaari, and we are addressing the problems which are here and now. And if there was no need for doing so, I would not be here, and the paper would not exist. But the fact that European Union, United States, and then Germany, Italy, and France international capacities paid this visit and expressed very strong support for this paper shows that we are committed, and we also believe that there is a need for this paper.
But this is not the first agreement expected to be reached between Kosovo and Serbia. We also had the so-called first agreement on the process of normalization, which was signed in 2013, but because we didn't see much going on, we had a lot of other agreements after that, and still we have both parties not implementing all the agreements. So is this the next station, and again we have to wait for another agreement?
Look, we will not change the past. The dialogue has the history of 11 years now. The fact is that when I was asked to take over this position, when this position was created in 2020, the dialogue did not exist for almost 2 years. There was no dialogue and there was no normalization of relations. And right now we have the best possible conditions for achieving normalization, because European Union is focused. This issue is in the center of attention. This proposal is supported by 27 member states of the European Union. It's very strongly supported by the United States and by the international community. And we also have a good timing, because we really can fully focus on our work. That means no political calendar is an obstacle on our work, which is the case for this year, not for the next year. As we know, there will be European elections, there will be US presidential elections. So whether we like it or not, there will be much less attention to the Western Balkans, to the normalization. And therefore, we need to use this unique window of opportunity.
But when you say in 27 member states of the EU, we can say we in Kosovo, we think that EU failed Kosovo, because even after Ahtisaari and even after declaring independence, there was no unity on EU towards Kosovo independence. We still have 5 non-recognizers in EU that probably made more harm to Kosovo than non-recognition from Serbia. What can we expect to change now?
Look, how would this help if you will pity yourself? Will it change your situation? Will it improve it?
No, I'm asking what will change now?
Yeah, no, I mean, this proposal has the potential to change the situation. And
will Kosovo get 5 recognitions from non-recognizing states?
I met with 4 out of 5 in last 2 days, exactly to discuss this proposal in details.
Can we name them? So you met with
Yes,
Greece?
I met with the foreign ministers of Spain, Slovakia and Cyprus. I met with the special envoy of Greece. Yes, and I am going to meet the foreign minister of Romania, but it was impossible to do in these 2 days. And of course, these countries are following this process particularly closely, because while for others it's an issue between Kosovo and Serbia and it's a regional issue, for these countries it's also the issue about what does it mean for them, for their national position. So that's why it was very important, and they all wish for this process to succeed, and they will of course reflect the result of the process also on their national position. That's as much as I can say, so don't ask me for more.
But some of these states have said that they will not go forward unless Serbia recognizes Kosovo. Before.
No one said anything like that to me.
So is it realistic to expect that these 5 states will recognize Kosovo if Kosovo will sign this deal with Serbia?
Let us first focus on what we need to do here and now, okay?
But
and
what
let's speak
are
about
the benefits?
what the others have to do.
But what are the benefits?
I think the benefits are obvious, and we need to do the first step, and the first signal must come from here, and then we will work on the other steps.
Okay, what do you need from Kosovo? What should government of Kosovo say to have that other step?
Let me discuss this with the government of Kosovo, with Prime Minister Kurti in the first place, because again, I don't want to send public messages. I think that the situation is quite clear and the discussion is also quite clear. There is a proposal at the table, a proposal which is significantly changing things for better for Kosovo and for Kosovo's citizens, for Kosovo's regional standing, for Kosovo's international standing. And I really hope that we will be able to formalize this process.
So, you know, my job is to do devil's advocate. So how will it change Kosovo's position, even internationally, if Kosovo will not get recognition from Serbia, Kosovo will not get recognition from 5 EU states. We know how difficult now is with the UN because of the conflict in Ukraine with Russia. So also UN can be seen out of the picture for now. So where are the benefits for Kosovo? And Kosovo is being asked to make association of Serbian municipalities, majority Serbian municipalities, and do something which moves toward extraterritorial for Serbian Orthodox Church.
With this proposal, Kosovo loses nothing, Kosovo gains a lot. And I really don't think it's helpful now to speculate about what will happen as step 3, step 4, step 5, without
It's been 15 years. 15 years.
Yes, but we are here and now. We are here and now. And we have the paper here and now. So this is the step 1 for me. Let's focus on the step 1. We are preparing step 2, step 3, but you cannot ask for guarantees for step 5 without delivering on step 1. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can you talk more how these different steps look like? So what would be the first step? What will be the second step to have the complete picture then?
The first step is the normalization of relations, the positive signal from here, from the region, and then the subsequent steps will be the direction of the international community. And the international community is waiting for this positive signal from here.
So both sides to say we're ready to achieve an agreement based on what you presented.
Well, I wish we have this situation. We are not there yet.
So this would be the signal.
No, the signal would be, of course, that the agreement is signed.
Okay.
And we will start implementing it. And then you will see that there will be a reaction, positive reaction from the international community.
Let's say that Kurti and Vučić will sign tomorrow. What will happen the next day? What will happen after 1 week? What will happen after 1 month?
This is not how politics works. What I know from multiple discussions I'm having is that individual countries, organizations are ready to respond positively. That's what I know. But no one will tell you, I will do this in March, I will do this in April. This is not how politics works. But they are waiting for the positive signal to come with their positive reaction. This is how politics works.
We have an agreement. Who will supervise the implementation of the agreement?
Well,
will there be a certain body overseeing the implementation? Because yes, Kosovo accepts to have like association of majority Serbian municipalities. Then Serbia will use that, or Vučić will ask Serbs to go out of the institutions again. So who will do what to make sure this will not happen?
Well, technically there will be a special body that will be supervising this. There is a mechanism of implementation, making sure that everything will be implemented, that it cannot happen that one party will do its homework and the other party will not. And so of course, everything will be supervised by the European Union through the monitoring mechanism.
It will be a special mechanism, or the normal mechanism that the institution has now?
There will be a special committee, and then the European Union will be regularly briefed and will make its decisions on the basis of this briefing of the implementation. Because the agreement is also very much linked to the European future for both Kosovo and Serbia. So the implementation of the agreement will also reflect on speeding up the European process.
And then this will be the framework, and then parties will have, again, their groups working on every issue together in the future?
Yes, of course, because I said this is not the end of the story, not the end of the road. So the implementation foresees the provisions of this agreement to be implemented, and then the work will continue on the full normalization of relations.
Your expectation is for that to end like when? To last 1 year, 3 years, 10 years?
I want this to be done as quickly as possible. And again, I've learned something in politics, and the political attention, is never focused for too long at one issue or one region. So as I said, right now we have the setup we need. We have the attention, we have the mechanism, we have excellent EU-US cooperation, the best possible. Next year, EU will be busy with European elections, US will be busy with the American elections. So we will not have the same level of attention. But we are still at the beginning of this year. So let's make sure that when we meet at the end of this year, we may say, yes, the job is well done.
And Mr. Lajçak, we know one thing, there is fear in the region. Fear that will we have the support of EU to implement what is signed? And by saying this, we all recall what happened to North Macedonia. They agreed to change their name, and then they didn't get what they were expecting.
Yes.
And was set by the EU if they undertake that step.
Yes.
So why should we trust now the EU that didn't deliver before?
Well, first of all, I cannot agree when you say the EU did not deliver. No one has delivered as much as the European Union. Let's be very, very clear about that. Sometimes the huge support and assistance is taken for granted in the region. I'm not speaking about Kosovo, but about the region in general. Second, EU will make sure that what was agreed will be implemented. Both Kosovo and Serbia are non-members of the EU, but are aspiring to become members of the EU. So that means this is a different situation from the North Macedonian situation, when there was an issue involving a candidate country and the member states. So therefore, there are no parallels between.
But then we will say, okay, this is, again, different issue because Spain is saying one, Cyprus is saying the other, Romania is saying something third.
Again, it's not true. Kosovo signed Stabilization and Association Agreement with the European Union, which is the first formal contractual agreement on the way towards membership. And it was supported by all, back then, 28 member states, all of them. So all 27 support this paper. So no one questions Kosovo's European future, no one. So it's really important to know that. And again, I think it would be better to ask less what if and what the others will do, and to focus more on what is here and now and what we are expected to do, and make sure that when we do our part, then we have also the moral right to ask the others.
But Mr. Lajçak, you can understand us because we are talking about lives of the people. There have been generations and generational living, or with fear of conflict with Serbia, or with this situation of all the time something tit for tat, like we have now after 12 years of integrating the North. What we saw what happened lately.
Yes.
So we need to have some guarantees that things will be going positively.
Yes, exactly. I understand the fears, but you should see European Union as your partner, as your friend. European Union sees the Western Balkans as the future.
Five countries of EU are not recognizing Kosovo.
No, I just said they are not questioning European future for the entire Western Balkans, including Kosovo. This is the position of the European Union. Kosovo is part of all the discussions between the EU and the Western Balkans. Kosovo is there. Kosovo is sitting there. Kosovo is not excluded from this. So European Union wants peace, stability, progress, and prosperity and European future. This is what and this is why we are here, and this is why we presented this proposal.
So after reaching this agreement, the European Union stance towards Kosovo and Serbia will be the same. So nothing will differ for Serbia that can differ for Kosovo.
First of all, signing this agreement will give a great boost to European aspirations for both Kosovo and Serbia. You are both on the European trajectory, but at a different stage. Kosovo is now at the stage of implementing Stabilization Association Agreement. Serbia is already negotiating chapters. But it's the same process, but of course Serbia is more advanced. As you know, Serbia and Montenegro are the most advanced because they are already opening chapters.
But the status of Kosovo is not the problem for EU.
I mean, no one in the European Union questions the European future for the Western Balkans 6, including Kosovo. That I think I'm very clear on this.
With the way the discussions are going, will the local Serbs return to Kosovo institutions before 23rd of April?
Well, I do hope so, and of course we are also discussing these issues because this is in the interest of everyone. The vacuum is never good. Vacuum is not good for the people who live there in the first place, but also for the functioning of the system. So therefore, I expect the Kosovo government to create conditions for the return of the Kosovo Serbs to institutions, and I expect Belgrade to encourage the return, because this is not a normal situation, and you would agree with me.
What conditions could be coming from the Kosovo side?
Look, the most important precondition is political will from both sides.
Did both parties understand correctly this agreement on license plates? Because we are seeing the interpretations differently from both sides coming.
I think we spent too much time last 6 months dealing with license plates. There was too much anxiety, too many tensions and problems. Definitely more than this issue deserves. And it took us so much time and energy that we should have focused on other issues such as energy, for example. So, again, speaking about license plates, this proposal is an answer because license plates is addressed through this proposal, the solution to the issue.
Mm-hmm. And do we have a timetable when to reach this agreement with the principals?
I am not in favor of setting artificial deadlines because experience shows that they never work. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there is a natural, I would say, deadline or timetable because, first of all, by March we will know whether we are progressing or not. And if
by
not,
March we will know.
By March we will know, and if we are not progressing, we will also know why we are not progressing, who is responsible for that. That's one thing. Second, as I said, the logical timetable really tells us that this year is the year. If we want to achieve something, this year is the year. After signing this agreement, we still need a couple of weeks, months, not too many, but for the implementation. So therefore, we should not be wasting our time.
What if one party will agree and the other disagrees?
Well, then the international community will respond accordingly and will support one party more and will support the other party or will shorten its support for the other party. You know, it's this process is very much in the focus of the international community. The fact is that the mission of last Friday was a really mission of heavyweight. So this US, EU and the three countries would not come here for nothing.
Mm-hmm. And when you say will support or support less the other side, what do you mean by support?
Well, all kinds of support: political support, economic support, financial support, support in integrating into additional international organizations. I mean, everything. Support in bringing investment. We are all part of the wider international community, and it's really important whether you are seen as a part of the solution or part of the problem, because this is then how you are treated by the international community. So that's why my wish is that we succeed, and both Kosovo and Serbia are seen as the two parties who made it happen and who proved to be part of the solution.
And if one party says no, it can be isolated as
Let us not go down that path, because I don't want to I don't want to think about negative scenarios. So let's make sure that we succeed. I mean, again, this is a win-win proposal. This is a proposal that will really help people in Kosovo, people in the Balkans.
And you served in Bosnia, and you know about this Republika Srpska issue being talked over and over again in Kosovo concerning the association. Yesterday, Milorad Dodik said that what's wrong with Republika Srpska? We want Republika Srpska in Kosovo. So how can you make sure that something like that will not happen in Kosovo?
Well, if there is one person who would say, who we can expect to say that Republika Srpska is a good thing, that's Milorad Dodik, right? So one cannot be surprised about that. But I'm surprised that people are scared of something that first does not exist, and we are already afraid of what will it be, and second, of something that you will be shaping. It will not be imposed. Kosovo has equal role in the dialogue as Serbia. Two equal partners. So that means what it will be drafted by you, co-drafted by you, agreed by you. You cannot sign something you disagree with. That's point number one. And point number two, there are existing European models, functioning European models. I have 15 analyses of existing European models of minority protection on my desk in Brussels. Mm-hmm. None of these models, half of them you have never heard that they exist. None of this has ever caused dysfunctionality of any of the countries which are implementing this model. Kosovo has supplied application for Council of Europe. Council of Europe has a perfect legal framework for addressing these issues. So don't be afraid of something that you are going to draft. That's my point. We are wasting too much time speaking about something that does not exist, and you will be co-authors. So make sure that it will help. It will bring transparency, it will bring rule of law, it will bring clarity.
And the last question on Serbian Orthodox Church in Kosovo, according to what we read, it said that provide a high level of protection of Serbian religious and cultural heritage in accordance with existing European models. Can we name some of these models?
My philosophy is that I have always been very much against creating something that has never been tried somewhere else. I think the international community made these mistakes in the Balkans in the past, coming with suggestions that were not tested in other countries, and not all of them worked well. In the Balkans, I'm speaking about the region in general. My philosophy is we want to bring the region closer to the European Union. Therefore, let's make sure that whatever we propose is based on existing and well-functioning European models. And it's not about mechanically taking one model and bringing it here, but getting the inspirations, philosophy, principles. We see what works, let's create a model which will suit best the conditions of Kosovo, but making sure that it works in other European countries, in the European Union area. And we should not be afraid of something that works in European Union countries. So I'm not going to speak about models because it will immediately start speculations. I'm speaking about the philosophy. And the philosophy means European models bring you closer to the European Union.
Mr. Lajçak, a pleasure having you in my studio. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much once again for your invitation.
Good luck on your mission.
Thank you.
Rubicon me Adriatic Kelmendin përkrahet nga Interex, Cima Construction, Instabuild, Arjani Kompani dhe Albi Group.